Before the story is over, I'm fully convinced that Usopp is going to gain Conqueror's Haki because so far all of his lies have come true. You've been paying attention to the story from the beginning to now, you know that Usopp says a lot of stuff, but then later on in the story, those things that he says come true. Let me give you the examples. Back in Sora Village when Usopp said that pirates were coming, and they were technically already there, so even though he was lying for years, he wasn't, because Kuro was literally in the village. Then you have the giant goldfish he made up a story about Takaya, and then back in Little Garden, we actually get to see that giant goldfish. Not to mention, back in Sora Village, he was also talking about a country of dwarves, and then when we got to Dressrosa, what did we find but a country of little dwarves? Dwarves that now look at him as a hero, by the way. I'm talking about a giant mole that he found inside the mansion, and then the first big fight that he has is against a giant mole. Chapter 40, he's talking about a giant dragon, a Cerberus, and trying to catch those things, and then later on in his journey, what did he find but a Cerberus and a dragon? Remember when he insisted that Luffy's first bounty poster was his because he was in the frame, only for him to get his first bounty to be the exact same amount that Luffy's was. Called himself a Sniper King, and then later on he actually became Soge King. And you might say this one is a stretch, but even when a Yonko commander like Izo sees Usopp, he's like, take them to safety, God Usopp. That's the name that he's known for on the seas. And in the anime, Usopp was like, wait, you've heard of me? He's like, of course I did. You're the king of sniping. And it's like, he knows the name. Can't forget about the beautiful swordswoman carrying meat, because that just turned out to be Rebecca. And then you have the 8,000 followers he's always talking about, but now you have all the Tontadas, you got the new giant warrior pirates, and the old giant warrior pirates all under him. It's because these people were super grateful for Usopp because he's the one that freed them from slavery. So now that you can see that his lies do come true, let's look at Wano where he says that, oh, crumble before me because this is my Conqueror's Haki. Going off of Usopp's track record, this is more than likely going to turn out to be true. After all, even Rayleigh says that those who make a name for themselves in this world possess that power. And what is God Usopp but that? Normal human that's elevated himself to God status by doing everything that he's done throughout the story. I would not be surprised if he walks around with Conqueror's Haki one day. Especially being on Joy Boy / Nika / the future Pirate King's crew. Not to mention, as we saw with fights like Sugar and Perona, he won these fights with fear. So it's like they were knocked out in a similar way that we see people get knocked out by Conqueror's Haki. And obviously he didn't use Conqueror's Haki here, but I'm just saying that Oda's kind of like been setting you up for it. And honestly, this shouldn't be a crazy take, because I feel like most people that actually follow One Piece know that Usopp might be a conqueror just because he said that he had it. Most people that actually pay attention to everything in the story understand that his lies come true, so if he said he had conquerors, guess what? He's probably gonna have conquerors. You can think it's stupid if you want to, but that just means you weren't paying attention. I know that's not you just asking a question, but it's the person that responded to you. He knows who I'm talking about. The moral of this story, it's like a 99% chance that Usopp does gain Conqueror's Haki because everything else that he's lied about has come true so far. Why would this be any different?